Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good day in the market. It's November 21st. It's Friday. Day after that big 22-point sell-off. We're gonna review 0-day options today. I took on SPY. Actually did a debit spread today. We'll get into it in the small account challenge got going on here. Yeah, so today, like I said yesterday, Fridays are always, not always, but typically pretty trappy. And after such a big move yesterday, I figured some consolidation, not continuation, basically. Ivy's super pumped, so market makers are just gonna take all their revenge and just expire things worthless. And they did, but since yesterday was so large, even today's inside candle, which is what it ended up being on the daily, was still a big range. What do we even get on the range? 650 to 664. Is that 14 points? Wow, yeah, 14 points almost. So huge, but then on the daily it doesn't even look big. It's because of yesterday's huge move. Very grindy morning. I think yeah, we gapped up a tiny bit. So this filled the gap down here. I started with this magenta, or not magenta, sorry, purple. Eric says magenta. I don't have magenta. I have red, which I guess this one's like magenta. But anyways, purple, and then I got white, both for, this is kind of a precision selling, I guess. This would be bullish controlled selling. And then gold right here for kind of a precision buying. Yeah. And just kind of grinded along. I didn't trade in here, thankfully. We completed a cup. The inverse cup. I was waiting for the range to spread out, which is funny to say because this was already a large range. Like I could have taken some scalps in here, and I definitely wanted to after, where was it? Oh, right here on this move. But yeah, this range right here, 653. Yeah, it's like 3 points just right here. So I'm trying to make tonight brief. So yeah, we had the white for the selling. It was in. And then it was building liquidity with orange, it looked like, and then also the red. Broke out of that first white and kind of made a higher white up here, as you see here, and then here. Where's my first trade? 1054, got into a call. So since this is actually tapering, or it's basically bullish controlled selling, I was somewhat bullish. I didn't really have a bias, but it didn't make, this is all just building liquidity basically. So if it came down, I'm thinking inverse head. If it comes up, I'm thinking ahead. It didn't really ever make the inverse head on a larger time frame, but it did, because since we're still in a wedge, it just ran out of it pretty much. But we also were at the bottom of this magenta on Eric's 30-minute chart. SPY Day Trading on YouTube, you can check them out. Still selling in the green and then coming down to the bottom of this magenta. So my first trade was 1054. I got a call. So bounced off this low. That was after it broke here. I considered actually puts right here on it breaking the red. Especially with the precision of white. But and then it came down here, and I really honestly considered the reversal also, but I was kind of happy I didn't. I was like, I'll just wait. I'll wait for it to break white and flip it into support before I go long. So yeah, anyways, it came up here and it broke the white, and then it came down, and then I saw a little inverse head and shoulder here. I was just a little too presumptuous. I didn't complete that cup. I didn't have this line up here yet. I just had this one. I thought, okay, it came down. This would probably be my stop. This like left shoulder here on this inverse head and shoulder. Potentially would come all the way down here and like reject this liquidity. So at any rate, it came down a bit. I had the white channel in here. It broke the white, made an engulfing green candle, and I was like, it looks like a little inverse head and shoulder for it to break. This is kind of what you have to pay if you're trying to catch it before it starts to confirm, I guess, or it breaks. So I got in here actually. I actually got a great fill, and this did hurt me today. If I'm not on delayed data, which is hilarious, I need to sort that out. Then I would have seen that these contracts were up like 30% and I didn't take any profit, mostly because I thought this was the breakout and it was going to at least hit high of day, and that was my target for this one contract. But this is like 2 points, 652.81. 654.27. Like not quite 2 points, but it was a large move, and I definitely could have been up 20 or 30 bucks on that one contract. So got it for $1.56 at 10.54. Is at the very, I think I actually, my brokerage is going a little slow today. I think I actually triggered it here, but it didn't fill till here. And then this one candle, 653.25, 654. So that's over a point. I didn't take it. I should have just done a break even stop on it, honestly, but I didn't. I closed out at 11 for a loss at $1.30. Yeah, once it broke back into this red, and I was like, man, this thing could really, that's the problem. Like, the range is actually quite large still, so when these candles are so big, if you're like, oh, it's just a little move, but you don't want to be holding through a whole point drawdown. So I just cut it, which is fine. First trade was a loss, 156 to 130. Next trade, this trade is actually crazy. So I saw this wedge at this point. Then I had this red, so I didn't even have it up here. I had the red from this support, and then this resistance, and then this support, and then it actually flipped resistance right here. So I had a little bit of confidence in the red, and then right here it confirmed it more. Consider getting calls here, I really did. But it was still in the wedge being this and then this, even though, yeah, this was tapering, selling, and we're at the bottom of the 30-minute chart. Yeah, so I didn't though. I was like, I'll wait. And then it came up here, and I'm like, well, I missed the puts here, which I really should have gotten. I'm like, well, it didn't actually break out. It actually just kind of falsely did it. So thinking, well, this is a tight range, but you know what? I'm gonna get puts just in case it breaks out and we keep grinding down. So I actually got next trades right here. 10 or 11, 18. Where's that? It's on this candle. Beginning of this candle, broke orange. It rejected VWAP as well as the top of that white. I got it right here, and this is a 1 point candle. 653.53, 52.11. So over 1 point. I literally closed it on that candle because it almost hit the bottom. This might take profit right here. I mean, yeah, sure, it'd be nice if it hit low a day or hit the bottom of the white, but I was like, we're very well could be going up. So I just did a little scalp there, and it felt really good. 136 to 159. So that maybe put me maybe break even. Yeah, about break even. And then I see this big bounce. I'm like, I'm so glad I took it. And I'm like, wait, here's an inverse head and shoulders, and we might be breaking white right here. And lo and behold, we did. So 11:22, I got a call. I didn't want to wait for the retrace just because we just haven't been getting them. So I got it here, like a little bit of a red candle. Really, the white retrace would have been nice, or this gold. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get it here. If it comes down, maybe I'll even average into it, as long as I'm not seeing the price of the contracts because it doesn't show me. So that's kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing. Sometimes I close it. I'm like, what the heck? Why am I down so much? Anyways, I got it on this candle. So it broke white, made a little inverse head and shoulders. I'm looking for the cup close. And if I'm greedy, not greedy, but if I had more, I'd look for the top of red, which is right here. It rips up. I'm super pumped. I get it here, and then it kind of stalls out, and then has a nice big green candle, and then it's kind of stalling. My fill wasn't great though. I mean, I'm pretty high up here, so I'm like, any little red candle to retest either white or orange is gonna be quite red. So yeah, basically it started to, these candles looked they actually looked ugly. A lot of wicking, a lot of top wicks here, as you can see, and it just looked like low volume kind of buying, which just looks sketchy. And I wanted to hold it till high day, but I just couldn't. I was like, these are big wicks. I think I maybe even looked at Eric's at that point, and it broke Eric's, or it was Emperor's, I can't remember. Sometimes these guys move them, which is fine. It makes sense. I don't know if I was looking at their charts at all. No, I wasn't looking at their charts yet. I was just looking at my orange. I'm like, dude, this thing's so far from support. So I closed it. It was a green trade, so I'm happy about it. 11:22 was when I entered. It was for $1.67. I closed it at $1.84. So it was a nice trade. Closed it 28. Didn't get a great fill because it was kind of when this was a little bit red. And this is where it's like the rule of at least wait until the candle is an opposite candle. Problem with that is the slippage, and this opposite candle could just spike back down to VWAP. So I closed it on this one. It ended up being a green candle. If I'd actually waited till red, it would have been much better, but I actually would have taken it right here at high of day for my profit target, but it's okay. I took it here. Yeah, so then it was green. Then it was pretty green actually. Not bad. I mean, like I don't know what I was at, but not as much as like I was down yesterday. So, but I was happy I was green because big IV day, very grindy so far, and it's a Friday, so all things kind of fighting against me. And I already had a nasty red trade, but I felt pretty good. I was happy I called this. After that, I was like, whatever. And then was that next? It was. Okay, so then it came up. I'm like, all right, I should just chill. I'm green on a Friday, high IV. It makes the cup. I'm doing other stuff. I'm eating, whatever. It just breaks out, keeps going. I'm like, okay, whatever. Consolidates and hits up here. I'm like, well, there was my next profit target, so that would have been sick, but oh well. And then just kind of keeps grinding up in orange. Let's see, where am I at? Okay, yeah. So then it comes up here. Here's 5-day, this gold line. And I'm thinking, all right, this might be resistance. It's building a lot of liquidity. And where was that actually? Wait, was that there? No, that's later. Okay. Building liquidity on 5-day. I'm looking for... Okay, yeah, I didn't actually catch this trade, but this was a nice one. It actually set up very nicely. So it's buying orange, and then it breaks orange. It's building liquidity. I didn't have this gold quite yet. So all I had was white. I don't have white there now, but it broke white right here. This little inverse head and shoulders broke the white, but the buying wasn't in the orange anymore. Now it was getting hit by resistance in this tapering red, which I think I already had. So I didn't want any part of that because I could tell. And then it came down here and it bounced and came up here, and that's when I started drawing this orange. I'm like, okay, there's a less aggressive bullish controlled selling, which is good for bulls, but it's going to take time. This is, whatever. So I drew that and I was happy about that because then it showed resistance here, because if I didn't have that, then this would look like a nice breakout. But I'm like, you know what, I bet there's a less aggressive one, because all I had was white at that point, and I think Eric and those guys had it. So it broke it here, but I'm like, yeah, if it's still like kind of tapering this red buying, that's pretty crappy risk to reward. So I left it, and thankfully I did, because then it was still just kind of building liquidity through here. However, if you'll notice, of course in hindsight it's easy, but not in hindsight. If we're right here, you see this tapering. So if I have it as resistance, I'll put the support here, right, for that tapering. Now if it breaks that, we could have a zone of mutual interest. We could have retracement trade to make an inverse head to grab all this liquidity. Okay, so I'm not thinking that when this is happening, and I'm kind of distracted a little bit too. I'm like trying to distract myself from the market. It breaks it right here. Nice little break. But if you don't have lines, you don't have the algos, whatever, you're just seeing the same liquidity chop. But it's actually not. It broke it, made a little shoulder and a head, came down, grabbed the shoulder, and now it's below it. And now we're getting it to retest, and now it's flipping that into resistance right here. Resistance, resistance, resistance. And then look, the volume starts to pick up right there on that candle. Like I said, I was involved with this. Put purple in there. This would have been kind of tricky to catch, but honestly, in hindsight, it's like, yeah, you could have caught that. So this little, yeah, anyways, so nice little sell off there for retracement. I wasn't involved with that one, but looking back on it, I'm like, okay, well, note that, because this happens often where to try and find the kind of the exit move out of liquidity, oftentimes it'll make a little microstructure and it will flip a support into resistance, especially on a tapering channel like this. Came down, so nice move. I was hoping it would come all the way down to high of day where it could find support, and that's where I'd go long, mixed with VWAP. I wanted to open up a credit spread there, just because I thought it might be grindy. I put credit spread. I didn't. Nice trade would have been on the break of the purple. Look at that. Yes, but it wasn't as low as I liked, so I left that one alone. And then it's grinding all the way back up here. I'm like, oh my gosh, I missed this whole move. Normally it wouldn't matter, but since today is such a large day, like this is huge range. I'm gonna move this just for now because this was like here. Anyways, came up here, broke orange, and is this when I did it? Can't even remember. No, it was later. I'm trying to figure out when I did the credit spread, but on the small account, so I'm up a little bit, right? Yeah, I'm still up. And then I'm like, well, I mean, this is the inverse head and shoulder here, potentially. On the 30 minute, we're kind of just in the middle of a huge wedge still, so it's any man's guess. Comes up, breaks it, finds resistance. Did I go short there, actually? No, I think I wanted to, but I'm like, I just gotta be patient, just wait and see, just wait. See if it's gonna just stay in the wedge or if we're actually gonna keep going. And then it does this little move right here, breaks out, holds above it, and then starts to flip it into support, even though it breaks the gold. So I went long there. 144, I got a call for 56 cents. Where's that at? That's on this candle. So it was right on the break that closed. I'm like, this is pretty sketchy because this might just be, you know, my line might just be off a little bit. Whatever, maybe it's on those wicks. But I did like it. It looked like it was kind of starting to hold support. It broke through it, but I'm like, you know what? I think it's still kind of good. So I wanted to hold at least till 5 days. So I gave it a little bit of room. This is 5 day. Given that's a big range at that point. 660.02, 660.7. That's almost a point. So yeah, it sucks, but whatever. I held it and it dipped in, then it came down here. I'm like, oh boy, and then it reversed. Okay. And then a news candle came out, and it's just like, it's witchcraft how these come out right at the algo breaks, because it literally was just deciding to go. And I think without the news, it probably would have gone, just maybe not so violently. I don't know though. That's what's just crazy. I don't want to think about it too much because I think I'll probably get zapped up into a alien spaceship or something. So I'm just gonna act like it's totally normal. This is what's not normal though. Sometimes you get lucky. Usually when you make a mistake, it costs you. Sometimes in the market, if you're in it enough, you know what I'm talking about. You'll make a mistake and it's to your benefit. I was messing around with buys and sells, and I'm like, this is looking good. I kind of want to average in. And then it does this and this, and then massive candle. I'm like, oh crap. Yes, this is sick. Tons of volume. I don't know what it is. It could just immediately reverse. So I was too jumpy, right? So it was like right here, the candle stalled out. It was above high day. I'm like, this is amazing. All this volatility, all this slippage, I'm gonna get a great fill. So I click it, what I had open, right? My window had open. I click it and I'm like, oh yes, all right, sick. That must have been nice. And then it's like kind of keeps climbing, then climbs up here. I'm like, oh wow, bing, this was the audio alert. I'm like, wow, it actually hit my target. And I look at my brokerage, I'm like, what's going on? I still have these positions. I'm like, wait, there's 2 of them. And I just click it, click sell, and I sold both at market. What the heck happened? I bought the one here, and then I was messing around thinking I wanted to average in, and I left that box open, so it was to buy and not sell. So it came up here halfway. So this one I bought for 56 cents. And then, let's see, it was actually 2 minutes later, or no, 4 minutes later. Yeah, because I held through all this. And then on the middle of this candle, I'm trying to literally sell the contract. I buy another one for $1.01. So 100% above where I bought that one. I bought another one. And then it just keeps rallying up to my take profit. And that's when I catch it. I'm like, wait, I have 2 contracts instead of 0. And it was at $1.57. So my mistake, it turned out to work out well. It's kind of a slap in the face because I really should be averaging into these. I don't know if I'd average in there, but it's kind of a nod to like, hey, you should be slower to take these profits. Wait, be more confident, wait for your target. Maybe you should add into winners, not just cut them so quick. Yeah, it was a slap in the face because my 56-cent contract went to $1.57 and I got an extra one for $1. So it ended up being, I think, an extra $1 of profit, which I'll show you guys right here. It's crazy. But yeah, there are the trades. So yeah, we're up pretty good today for how small of an account is. And part of it's because of mistake. I would have been up pretty good anyways, but not quite that much. 171 on this thing. Oh man. So I was very thankful and said my prayers, and I was like, all right, I should probably slow down now. I just got a super lucky candle and I was able to average into it on accident. Where's the lotto? Give me 7-Eleven right now. Took it easy, and then yeah, credit spread. Okay, so around here, I thought it was building liquidity, and I was looking for a call credit spread, not to call the reversal, but just thinking it's high. We haven't had a mutual interest. It's Friday. This week might want to just kind of cruise back down closer to VWAP. I can't move it right now, but if you put this orange right here, I opened up. Well, I was on Webull, right? I'm trying to mess with credit spreads. And I have a limit, and then I change it, and then I'm looking at it, and I'm like, you know what? This is building liquidity to go up. I probably shouldn't be bearish right now. I should just wait. And so I go in to try and cancel it, and I notice I have a position open. And prior to this, I was trying to see how many I could open, and I couldn't open more than like 3 or 4 because of margin. And I go into my position, and I see it's open, and it's dancing around down here. I'm like, what is this position that's open? Like, oh, I must have had an order and I forgot to cancel it. And so I'm like, okay, it's a call credit spread. It's bearish. I'm like, that's fine. I'll just leave it because I was trying to get a nice fill, and it kind of sits here. I'm like, wait a minute. And I started to notice it was 10 of them, not 3. I'm like, this is a ton. How did I get to open all these? And I'm like, wait, why is it going up in value when the price is going up? What is happening? So I just started. Before I even noticed that, I was like, I got to get out of half of these. So I just started selling them. Because I'm like, I don't want this big of a position. This is a tiny account. I can't do this. And I don't even know what's going on. This was kind of an accident. So I sold, let me show you here. I sold half, or I think I sold half. Here. Here we go. Yeah. So I sold, so I'm like, okay, great. I didn't know what I opened. I couldn't see this. Like, I'm kind of new to spreads on Webull, because Webull's pretty new to spreads, and I haven't really traded Webull since it's had spreads. Anyways, so when you're selling credit spreads, you want to close it for less than you sold it for, right? So you open it for more and you close it for less, and you collect the difference. So I kind of knew I'd opened it for 39. I saw it somehow, and so I was just putting limit orders to try and get out of half of it. So yeah, I did actually close half. It was like 33 cents. I'm like, okay, cool. I made a little money. Like, now let me just maybe get out of the rest of this, because I think this is actually going to go up. And so I just did. At some point in there, I realized, wait a minute, this thing's going up, and it's going up in value. And it was right at resistance at that point. And I was like, wait a minute, is this a freaking debit spread? So then I upped the limit and closed it. So it ended up being a red trade, which of course is fine because it was a total mistake. I shouldn't have been in it. But I opened up 10 debit spreads. I don't know how I even did that. Instead of a credit spread, and way too many of them. The lesson, I mean, just pay attention, I guess. I don't know. And then once you're in something, like, pay attention before you just freak out and try and close it, because I could have, if I slowed down a little bit, I could have realized, okay, this is a debit spread. This is bullish. Yeah, I can cut some, but I need to realize it was a debit spread, not a credit spread, because that's literally the opposite. A credit spread is good if it goes down. Debit spread is good if it goes up, if it's in a call. And these were calls. So I wasted a day trade, and it ended up bringing my small account here down a little bit. But thankfully, I guess I got out before it did too much damage. I mean, this would have been a nice green trade if I just slowed down and paid attention, like, okay, it's a debit spread, and I actually think it's probably gonna go up. Could have been a little patient for it to break it, but whatever. I'm not sad about it. I was like, you know what? I had that other trade that I made a mistake on, and it actually made me make more money. So a lot more than I lost here. That, and yeah. So then I was like, you know what? I should probably just quit. 2 mistakes and I'm done. So this counts back down just under 500, which is fine. It came up here. I'm like, man, I really would like to get a call credit spread, or even puts. And I was like, I'm not going to. So I exercised a little discipline, because I'm like, I had 2 mistakes. I'm not focused enough. I gotta stop. So I did. But what I did was actually paper trade, because I thought this was gonna be a good move, and it was. So did the same thing it did here. Once it started showing that it was tapering by rejecting this right here, breaking purple, sorry, and then rejecting here and not like ripping up, right? So it's tapering. So then I put this as a support. It broke here, and then it retested, and I got puts right here. So I just paper traded on the Webull. I got puts here, and I wrote them down. I sold, and then I wasn't even paying attention because I didn't really care. I just put a break even, but otherwise I could have held through here. It stopped out. But yeah, so I was happy that I saw that, and if I hadn't already checked myself out by making those 2 mistakes, I probably would have been able to make a little profit on that. I mean, there's pretty good profit actually, because this late in the day, and that was like 1.5, 2 points. So pretty good price action for a Friday. I mean, huge range still, relatively. Some good moves. Like, yeah, I missed a lot of this move. There wasn't really another entry. I'm fine with it. I missed this one, but I actually caught it when it happened again right here on the paper, which makes me satisfied. I'm glad that I stuck with this one. Of course, because it did this. I think anyways it would have been a good trade. Would have been smart. That's what I got. Have a good weekend, guys. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. Peace out.